Alright, we are ready to go with part 2 of modeling the dungeon corridor. I'm so glad that you are coming by for this. And I've just done a couple of things. I've decided that I think I'm going to stay with this style of support for the lantern. This could be wood or something. And what I've done is I've created this little piece, and the way I did that simply was I created an edge loop on here, split it, and then expanded that a little bit to get that, and then to get this piece here. Let me just zoom in on that and bring my 3D cursor there. To get that, I just basically did this. I created a circle. I believe I made it probably 8 vertices, scaled it down like that. Let's just put it out in front. Rotate X 90. That didn't happen. Rotate X 90 and extrude it out and bring it down like that. Okay, I would have gotten rid of the back face and grab that edge and extrude it back, and then grab all these edges here like this, going around. I always bevel this stuff. You don't want it too sharp. Control B, pull, and give 3, and you'll end up with that. Alright, so I did that. I don't have it on the other side because you'll never see that. And the other thing I did is I made a little bit of a change to the lantern in order to make it a little bit more old-fashioned. Alright, and I'll show you how I did that. I'll come in here and I'll select a bit, Control L, and I'm going to bring my 3D cursor there, and actually we'll just do it off to the side a little bit. I just did 8 vertices like this. I'll pull it out this way. Alright, brought it up so it would be underneath, extrude it down like that, drop an edge loop in, but I didn't want it right in the center. I brought it down a little bit, scaled it out a bit, another edge loop up near the top and near the bottom, so I would have these parts, and then select all of these faces and press I twice, I, come in like that, X faces, take the whole thing, E and Alt S, and I think I pushed, and I put a bevel on that. Alright, and that gave me that. Now I've thrown a light bulb in there, don't worry about that, I just was testing something, and I just copied this down. I've also created some collections here to make it a little bit easier, and down here, let's see if I can get that one, I've said, okay, I'm not going to have, what happened there? I'm not going to have a lantern there, that one's gone, and this one I'll take and I'll actually break it, and we'll put that on the floor. Alright, so we've got some lanterns in there, and now I want to create some chains. And so what I'm going to do is there are going to be chains along the side. Is I'm going to select that edge there and Shift S, cursor to selected, just to get in the ballpark of where I want this. And I'm going to bring in a plane and scale it down, and I'm just going to pull it out. It's not going to be exactly there, but a quick way to make a nice circle. Let's focus on that. Let's press 1 for vertex and Shift Control B and pull, and press C for clamping, so I can pull and the vertices will hit there, and then roll my mouse up like that until I think I got a circle that I like. I'll select it all and merge by distance. That'll get rid of some vertices, and select that face and X only faces. So now I have that, and I'm going to get rid of part of it. I'm going to get rid of this bottom half here, all those vertices, take these and extrude them down a little bit. We're going to make like a handle type thing that's going to fit in here. I'll show you what I mean in a second here. Let's rotate X 90 and scale that, so that's going to go into the wall. So we're going to convert that to a curve and increase the bevel depth here, so I can do that. Alright, let's shade smooth, So I can have that piece there, and then I want a little ring hanging down. But just before we do that, there's one more thing. I'm going to select all of those vertices, Shift D and P to break them out. So I have these, and now I can increase the size of these to make like a little base for this thing to attach to. Select those two and pull them in like that, and we'll convert that to a mesh right off the bat here. So let's scroll up under the resolution. Let's change that to 3, and then convert to mesh and come in, and in edge selection, Shift Alt and click and make a face. Make a face, and with both of them selected, Control B and pull, and I want my 3 vertices there. So I have that part. I just want to double check that that's the thickness I want. That's okay, we could go with something like that. Let's convert that, make the resolution 3, and convert to a mesh as well, and I'm going to Control J to join them. So I have that now. Alright, so I'm going to want 2 of these. Let's do something to make it easier. Let's select the walls there and hide the mirror, and even this one, and hide that mirror, so we can look at it from the side. Number 3, we're going to do the trim as well. Take the mirror off of the trim. There we go. Now I can see that. Alright, I'm going to take that and move it down, and Shift D to duplicate, and do another one. And that's where I'm going to do my chain, but first we need one more of these loops. So I'm going to select here, Control, and bring my 3D cursor there. And we'll do one more plane, like that. Close enough, like that. We'll do the same thing. Shift Control B and pull. The clamp should be on still. Roll my mouse up a few times. Select the whole thing, actually, merge by distance, and select that face and only faces. And now I have that. Let's convert that to a curve and increase this. I just want different diameters. Alright, so try to vary the diameters of these things to create some interest. So I've got that. Let's rotate Y 90 and pull that down and under like that. Let's look from the front and just position it like that. Shade smooth. Really, I'll probably get rid of that one and do this first. Alright, so let's say we take that now and convert that to a mesh, and then join that. Yeah, I might as well get rid of this, and we'll just copy it. So Control L, let's grab it all. Control L, X vertices. There we go. Alright, we'll take that one and Shift D. There we go. So we're going to have chains hanging down from that. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to select both of them, Shift S cursor to select it, bring my 3D cursor there. I'm going to look from the side here, and I'm going to bring in a path. I'm going to rotate Z 90, scale, and scale till these vertices are right in the middle there. And I'm going to pull it down, and imagine my a chain is going to attach sort of there. Grab these 3 and pull it down here and have it hang. So it's going to hang like that. Okay, so we're going to take this and Shift S, cursor to selected, this curve. I want to also do right click and set the origin of this to the 3D cursor. Alright, let's start building our chain now. I'm going to bring in a torus, and I'm going to use the values of 8 for the major segments and 10 for the minor segments. Come in, scale it down, and I think I may select just these things, slash key, so we can just focus on those things right there. Okay, back to this guy. I'm going to scale it down. I'm going to look from the top, and I'm going to rotate Z 22.5 degrees so it's flat facing us. Alright, go into wireframe and 1 for vertex selection and box select here. Pull it out a little bit to get sort of the shape of the chain link. Scale it down a bit more. And then I want the origin of this right in the middle, so I'm going to set the geometry to origin, so it's right in the middle there. Now I'm going to bring in a plane, and I'm going to scale it down until it's close to the size of my chain length, my chain link, like this. Now I'm going to parent this to the plane, so select that, then the plane, Control P, and set the parent to this object. Select the plane, and come over here to the object properties and scroll down to where it says instancing, and choose faces. Now I have another one in there. Alright, so I'm going to go into edit mode of the plane and just pull it over like that. Alright, so we've got to start going here. Alright, select it again, and let's add an array. Now this is a little bit weird because I'm not in the typical X. Alright, first of all I'm going to switch this to fit type, fit curve, and I'm going to choose the curve, like that. And then I'm going to choose not relative offset, but constant offset. And I'm going to set the X to 0, and the Y I'm going to start playing, and I'm going to pull it, okay, you see the way I'm pulling it like this, until they seem to interlock, like something like that. Alright, so far so good. Alright, so fit curve and do all that stuff. Now I'm going to add a curve modifier. I'm going to choose the curve and switch this to Y. And now it's close to working. Close to working. I'm going to come back up here to my main one. Come in here. Actually, we'll do this one. I'm going to uncheck viewport and render, and I can take this one and I can hide it. I can find it later. If I come back to it, I can find it in here somewhere. Alright, this is it here. So I can even call this first link or something, and I can turn it off here, hide it, and I can turn it off from the render. Alright, so now I can find it again. Alright, we're close, but I want to twist the chain, so my origin point is still there, so I'm going to Shift A and bring in an empty. Alright, so there it is. I'm going to select my chain here, come back to the modifiers, and under array I'm going to scroll down to object offset. I'm going to choose that and then choose the empty, and then with the empty selected I'm going to rotate Y 90, and now my chain is like that. Now it didn't line up perfectly, and if I do that it'll be a little screwy, so I'm going to come back in here and let's see if we can do any manipulation to get this to work. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to take this guy here, and I'm going to rotate it. Let's try that. Rotate Y 90. Alright, and then I'll take that guy and we'll hide him again. Where did he go? He's in here. What I can do is I can come in to the path and just manipulate it just a little bit to get it to fit. And it's okay if this changes a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfectly, you know, dipping down. Something like that. Okay, let's bring everything back now. I'll just hide the empty. And I now have the chains that I want. Alright, so let's see. Let's bring everything back and take all this stuff, including that and the chain. Let's make a collection here. New collection. I'll call this chain. We're going to see if we got everything. Alright, I'm going to take that curve as well. Alright, let's hide that for the moment. Take that curve, move that to chain. Alright, we've got it. Now if I take this and move it, I should be okay. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to duplicate this down. Let's do that. Let's Shift D to duplicate it, pull it down to about the middle of this one here. All right, I'm going to create a new collection, I think, for it. So I'm going to call that chain 2. And this one's going to be chain 1. We'll save. And let's try again. Select these. Shift D to duplicate. Let's pull that down and let's see if we can play with this one. Now this one, let's go in. All right, let's make it another instance of that, or another collection. Sorry. All right. So for this one, I'm going to come in and grab that. All right. Let's do this. Let's take this one and play with the chain itself. Let's move that out. You can see that the chain is following it. Pull it down. Just want to check this and make sure everybody's playing nice. Yeah. All right, so we can do this now. So let's look from the side, and I'm just going to start positioning this. Maybe I'll get rid of that one. Pull these up. Just do whatever you feel looks okay. Have it sitting down on the floor, broken off. Yeah. All right, I'll spend some time working on that part myself, so I don't spend too much of your time here. Okay. Yeah. But at any rate, we've got that. Oh yeah, I'll play with that so you can see what we could do with that. And I was just thinking maybe for this one, maybe let's go in here. And so we got that curve there. Let's do this. Let's take these and delete those points. Slide this down. Actually, let's delete that point as well. Take this like that. Okay, we got that one there. We're gonna have to hide that. And for this one, let's do this. Let's take these and apply. Let's take this and come to apply, make instances real. And I should be able to get rid of that and that, and take this here. They're all on their own now. All right, I'm going to take that. Select all the chain links and Control J. Let's look from the side and just position this a little bit better. Take that, and then I'm just going to duplicate it over to here as if this one is broken. Maybe we'll take one more piece in here. I'll come in and I'll select a bit and Shift D to duplicate and pull it down. Is that hitting the floor though? That's the only question. It's into the floor, so you know what? We could. Let's see what's going on here. Let's rotate in the Y and do this kind of a thing. And just have it sort of, don't do that. Have it sitting on the floor a little bit. So that one's broken. Okay, and then just that one we have to fix up. So we now have them there. Can I get rid of that? Okay, and then let's take the wall and bring the wall back. And that side back, and this side back. And let's, there's chain 1. Let's come back to chain 1, select it, Shift D to duplicate that, and let's rotate Z 180, and we'll just work on the position of this one. Let's look from the top in wireframe and sort of line it up with the other side. Doesn't have to be exact or anything. I mean, you know, if you make them completely symmetrical, it looks a little funny, but it probably will be pretty close. So, okay, we'll push that into there, and I'll just take that. Okay, let me see if I can grab all of that again. I'm going to, not that, close that. I'm going to make that a new collection. I'm going to call that what? Where are we at? Chain 4 maybe? And I'll duplicate that down into here. Look from the side in wireframe. That can actually help me line it up. Okay, so I got that. And that's going to be chain 5, I think. Chain 5. And maybe we'll do one more. Duplicate it down. And we'll sort of break this one a little bit as well. In fact, maybe we'll get rid of, let's call this chain 6, and maybe we'll just have the loops on this one. Let's come in here and see what we can do here. Okay, so this I'm going to make instances real, and let's see, can we get rid of that stuff now, and can we get rid of that guy, and I better apply this. Actually, we're going to be deleting that. I think we're going to delete all this now that I think about it. And yeah, okay. I don't need any of this. I'm going to, not that. Let's get, okay. Well, maybe I'll have a couple of them. All right. Let's just select a bunch of these and get rid of them. And I'll have a small piece hanging. Okay, so that one. And let's see, we'll look at Control 3 in wireframe. Where'd it go? There it is. And let's just rotate this and have it hanging here. And that's like that. Now the only other thing I was thinking is I might want to change these, and if I did, let's just build this little by little. Let's take 2 of them because they're pretty straightforward. Shifty, we'll bring them out, and let's just lift that up here and bring it closer to one of these. And did I go? Oh, I went that way. Oh yeah, okay. Let's GY. And let me think about this if I like that idea. I can change the size of them. I'm going to join those and come in and just scale them. And then I'm going to Shift D to duplicate them and pull them down. I think I'm going to switch this stuff so that it's a little bit more consistent. So I'm going to Control L. We'll get rid of those, and in place of that we will look from the side and bring that up. I'll just rotate it a bit, straighten it a bit, and let's see, is that the wrong orientation? Okay, so it's good for that one. So in other words, I think I don't need that one. Right? Maybe I will make it a bit bigger. Just make everything fit like that. Do I like it better? Is it important? Yeah, I think I'll go for that. That should propagate into all of those. And it's possible that I would need on this, I've got that already, eh? Maybe I like it like that. I think I'm going to take that off for now. Alright, so this is what we end up with. I may have missed labeling some of the chains. I'll go back and check that out. later on, and we'll hide what we don't need. But let's just have a look here, and let's come over to this one here, and here's our dungeon. Now I've thrown just a couple of lights in there, as I said, so we'll just have a look here and decide. I'll have to check that all my polys are facing the right way and I don't have any extra ones, and we'll make sure everything's gathered into appropriate collections. And I'll fix this one here, and I'll look at the length of this. Maybe I'll take a couple of these off so it's not all dragging on the ground. But this is how the dungeon is looking so far. So we're going to have bricks, concrete, the concrete trim, that's going to be concrete as well, concrete arch, but probably wood for this. So metal for the chains and for the lantern, metal for these bars, concrete there, and maybe concrete here, concrete and bricks, or maybe bricks there as well. We'll see. We've got a few more items to put in the corridor itself, but it's going to be relatively straightforward. So the main thing for this video, other than showing you a couple of changes in the lanterns, is the creation of these things. It can be a little finicky, so you have to work at that. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks so much for joining me. I know there is some interest in this, and I think that's fantastic. I'm really enjoying the series, and I will come up with some stuff to do in part 3 for you very soon. So if you're modeling along with me, I wish you the best of luck. Feel free to ask questions if you want, or post some stuff on the Zero Bio Discord. And otherwise, we'll see you next time. Take care.